How's it going here at Nomad Mobile Maintenance and Repair? Today we are looking at the bearings. I was pretty focused when finishing up this job, so I didn't want to do anything crazy with taking videos and making stupid mistakes for no reason other than I want to just get the video done. But we are looking at the bearing shells from the 2007 Chevy Avalanche that we did the DoD lifters on. We had a colossal misfire, no compression, cylinder number one. We found that cylinder number one's DoD lifter had collapsed. We didn't want to run the engine any more than it was at the moment because we knew that that was potentially going to break a cam lobe with how bad it was. So we stopped. We didn't rev the engine, nothing. We got it all back together, job done. We replaced DoD lifters both sides. We start the engine and we have no oil pressure. We have low oil level. So customer had stated before that the sensor for the low oil level indicator was broken, needs to be replaced. He had one in stock or on hand, I guess. So we disregarded that. The oil pressure, we tested out the oil pressure sensor. We found that that sensor was faulty, super common on these engines, so we got that replaced. We had oil pressure, we had the correct oil level, we ran the engine, and under load at 1300 RPMs, we had a knock. So we did some misfire diagnosis and we did some testing, and we found from noise resonance that the camshaft was not the issue on this. This was now a connecting rod bearing that was having the problems. And cylinder number 6 was the problematic cylinder. So these are all the old shells. We can see some light. Oh, where's my finger? We can see some light scoring on some of these. Only 1 or 2 shells actually could catch a fingernail on the scoring, like that one right there. But overall, this is all not too bad until we get to cylinder number 6. So cylinder number 6, we didn't spin a bearing, but it definitely lost material. I mean, you can see that was just absolutely wrecked. The fact that the engine, and when we had the engine apart, we didn't see any scoring on the cylinder walls. So we didn't even think that there was going to be any issues when we got it back together until we started it up and knock, 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 who's there? But this, we did a in-vehicle bearing shell replacement. We dropped the oil pan. We got a set of oversized bearings. We put everything back together and we polished the crank, by the way. And we put it back together, and that's what happened. And as it turns out, because I didn't plastic gauge out of the gate, I just got the oversized bearings and was going to run with it for this shell and then check as we go. But that was too tight. That was too tight. So these are 0.002. Where is it? 0.002, 2 thousandths larger. So spec tolerance is going to be 3 to 5 thousandths. This was too tight. So that means that that crankshaft still had to have been at like 3 thousandths. We brought it down to 1, and that was just too much for this engine. So we removed all the 2 thousandths bearings that we had installed, which we had put in 2. We got a set of standard bearings, and sure enough, yeah, the crankshaft was still in great shape even after polishing it. We rotated the engine around by hand, double-checked this bearing to make sure this didn't happen again, and no issues. But that is what happened with that. We had a bad bearing on cylinder number 6, and, with discussion with some people, there's a chance off of how every single bearing in this engine is good, except for that one. And this isn't the last cylinder to get oil. This isn't like you would say, oh, the last thing to get oil is the top end, so that's what went out. No, this is middle of the engine. The only real logical answer would be that this was a bad bearing, and when the engine ran low on oil, because this was already defective, this is what went out first. So all things considered, I think the customer got really lucky that this was the only bearing that went out. I think the engine should last a good while. It sounds remarkably well. I was nervous, and I definitely would like to see an oil change on that. In 200 miles, we cleaned out the engine bottom end thoroughly, but, you know, if there was any debris left in there, that could definitely cause some problems later on down the road. It turned out really well. Not a super crazy amount of damage, but enough to make you, really upset that, there's your problem. Thanks so much for joining us. This is Nomad Mobile Maintenance and Repair.